As we all know, we are currently facing an outbreak, COVID-19, now a pandemic caused by coronavirus. And I'm only here to give you a compiled set of recommended preventive measures put forth by credible health organizations like the WHO and the NHS. I will also be sharing what I do to cope with it personally, hoping that we can help each other. So hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. Since coronavirus affects the respiratory system, it's generally believed that the virus can spread through cough or sneeze droplets from an infected person or by things that they have been in contact with. The recommended preventive and protective measures to protect ourselves and others are simple but frequent hygienic measures needs to be followed. Before that, let's run through the advice list of symptoms that we need to look out for. High fever, a dry cough that doesn't stop, and shortness of breath are symptoms that needs to be given due notice. Coronavirus is known to transmit only through close contact. So the NHS recommends maintaining at least 2-meter distance between yourself and anyone who happens to be coughing or sneezing in your vicinity. Staying home for at least 7 days is recommended if you notice any symptoms just discussed or have visited places where coronavirus is spreading in the past 14 days. NHS advises to not go to the hospital, GP or pharmacy if you become unwell. Instead, get help from NHS 111 online corona service. Only contact 111 directly if symptoms worsen or you can't find the help you're looking for online. This is only to free up clinical call handlers to prioritize 111 phone callers experiencing symptoms. You would have heard this time and time again by now, but the first one on the list is wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. A sanitizing gel with 60% alcohol can also be used when hand washing is not possible. But remember, this is only effective if your hands are at least visibly clean. So the safest option is to stick with washing your hands as and when required and as often as possible. This is a no-brainer, but it may help if you trim your nails short, as we know germs love to hang in and around nook and crannies. Here is how to wash your hands properly as mentioned in the WHO and NHS website. An easy way to prolong and follow this method is to sing a rhyme twice, so you would at least take 20 seconds to wash your hands. Rub your hands thoroughly with soap, covering all areas of your hands just like so. Also rub both your thumbs and the tips of your fingers on the palm of your other hand. Rinse and dry your hands with a disposable towel and use the disposable towel to turn off the tap too. I also use a quick absorbing moisturizer as my hands tends to get really dry due to the new frequent hand washing routine. Quick thing to remember is to not touch anything before your hands dries though. Using a paper towel is the best choice, but most of us use towels at home to dry our hands. It's best if everyone has their own towel and a spot to hang it. But since I don't have this option at home everywhere, I make sure the towel is air dried or tumble dried at high temperature if required between uses. It's also best if those shared towels are washed at a high temperature every few days at least. If you have an infected person at home, then everything they use must be separated as recommended by your local health advisor like NHS and washed at high temperature with a bleach-based product. Second on the list is to practice respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and nose with a bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Ensure to dispose the used tissue in a closed bin immediately. This is to contain the droplets spread by the virus and protect the people around you. The third recommended preventive measure is to avoid touching eyes, nose and mouth if hands are not sanitized at least. Hands touch many surfaces and can pick up viruses. Once contaminated, hands can easily transfer virus to your eyes, nose and mouth and eventually make its way into your body, making you sick. If isolated at home, an important step would be to stay away from older people, in particular those with long-term health conditions, for their safety. Make use of online corona service while at home for guidance. NHS recommends drinking plenty of water and taking everyday painkiller like paracetamol to help you with your symptoms. Also follow all recommended hygienic measures. The WHO also recommends food safety against spread of virus. Use different chopping boards and knife for raw meat and cooked food. Make sure hands are washed between handling raw and cooked food too. Sick animals that have died must never be eaten. Meat products can be safely consumed if cooked thoroughly and properly handled during food preparation. There is no evidence that masks protect people who are not sick. WHO recommends using face mask only if you have a cough, fever and difficulty breathing in order to protect others. However, if you are healthy and is taking care of an infected person, then you must wear a mask whilst in the same room with that person. When wearing a mask, make sure your hands are clean. Cover your mouth and nose with mask and pinch the wired edge and press it firmly around your nose. Never reuse a single-use mask and remember to replace it as soon as it gets damp. Also, dispose the used mask in a closed bin and wash your hands effectively. The need for a DIY hand sanitizer is understandable, but it leaves a lot of room for human error even though the instruction may seem easy. We must understand that if we don't get the proportions right and it is made with unsanitized tools in an unsanitized area, it may do more harm than good. So always resort to washing hands if possible. To sum it all up, the WHO advises us to be ready for coronavirus as it may be with us for a while before it goes away. As seen here, the WHO also says, be safe from coronavirus infection, be smart and inform yourself about it, and be kind and support one another. Please remember there may be other people who also need the same things, so let's be logical and sensible while buying stuff. We are all in it together, so let's just be considerate of each other. So hope you've liked this video. If you did, hit the like button for me and also subscribe for more. Lots of love and God bless.